Hello, everybody. So we're going to talk about this new thing called the Kwong versus United States case, which basically is that COVID era time where you might have been assessed or you might even have paid to the IRS for interest and penalties because you either filed late or you paid late. And there's this whole court case going on right now where they're saying, no, that was illegal. And we're running out of time to be able to try to get our money back as the case progresses. There was an appeal that was just submitted to try to turn it around. But if not, if this is a good case, you probably could get your money back. But time is running out because you have to do a protective claim before July 10, 2026, in order to have a chance to get a lot of these years of interest and penalties back. And let me tell you, I've already looked at a few clients of mine. We looked at their 2021 and 2022 tax return, and I went to the transcripts online. That's the best way to know if you paid anything. Obviously, if you didn't pay any interest or penalties, this is not for you. Keep scrolling. But if you go and you log in and get your transcripts called an account transcripts, it shows you each year if there was anything assessed to you. And if there was, check out the number. And if it was high enough for it to be worth the squeeze, download that transcript. And now you know you can try to get that money back. I saw some clients that paid $55,000 between 21 and 22. And that's not a reflection on me. They weren't even my clients back then. And they paid late or they messed up something. Something went wrong and they got charged and they paid it because they didn't want to go to jail. So I'm going to show you the form, how to fill out, because I'm getting tons of questions from clients, from people who follow me on social media, and I want to just try to make it as clear as possible. I did make a little video teaser that only covered the first page. This is going to cover both pages of Form 843, how I think it should be filled out. You might want to Google a couple of other opinions as the case progresses because it's a simple form, but at the same time, you don't want to screw it up the first time because you have money riding on it. So it's sort of like a do-it-yourself here. I'm going to share my screen now with the PDF that you download. You go and download the PDF. Do that, please. Form 843, you download it. Okay? Now, let's see. Is it working? Is it working? Okay. So I believe that we are working. We're working. We're twerking it. Okay. Where is my PDF? There we go. So let's go all the way to the top. The first thing you want to do is on the very top of your document, put the words protective refund claim pursuant to Kwong case. You want to tell the IRS that you're doing a protective claim. That's what you want to tell them. Now, you got all these boxes here, and it's overwhelming. You're not going to be asking for taxes back. This is not what it's about. Penalties, yes, you might have paid penalties. Interest, yes, you might have paid penalties or interest. And normally, I would either select this one or I would select this one. But the problem is you can only select one. You don't want to confuse the IRS of what you're trying to do. So what I did was I did other with an explanation because that is going to say two things for the price of one, plus I'm putting in the language here, protective claim for refund of interest and or penalties pending the final resolution of the Kwong versus United States case. I mean, it's so simple. Anyone reading this, any clerk at the IRS who opens the mail, by the way, when you mail this, mail it certified receipt return. You want to make sure that you not only have proof that you mailed it on time, that IRS actually got it, because IRS so many times says we never got it. And we don't want to have that happen. So it's like $6 or $7 extra when you go to the post office. Walk yourself to the post office or drive and do that. Okay. Now that's it. Page one is almost done. We scroll down here and we're going to see enter the tax period or fee year. Now, if you have multiple years that you had interest or penalties assessed, you got to do a separate form for each year. You can't combine it all in one. that's going to cause a problem. So I wanted to do it for 2020. And this is an example. The client has a problem. I found $54,000 of interest and penalties, and I want to put the number there because I have the number. If you don't have the number, but you're kind of not sure, but you know for sure there was something, you might be able to leave it blank. But I put the numbers in because that's what I want to get back. It's in the transcript. It's pretty clear. I trust it. I put the number in. Put the number in if you have the number. And then, of course, box dates of payment for which you were requesting a refund. I don't know. You could put something in there. Maybe you don't need to. The point of the matter is, there's multiple people that have issues here. It's not an estate, it's not gift, it's income tax. That's going to be the majority of the people that are doing it. Page 2, all of you been waiting for. So number 5 is 1040. Yes, most of you guys are going to be doing 1040. It's 1120 C Corps or payroll. You can potentially have a protected claim for that. So look it up. But 1040 is going to be the majority of the people doing this. Number 6, there's 2 different types of IRC codes. One is for late filing and one is for late payment. I put them both in there. It asks for it. I put it in there. Go ahead and put them both in there. 6651A1 and 6651A2. You can always Google it if you're not sure. And box 7, I marked off C, reasonable cause or other reason allowed under the law can be shown. I thought that was a great box. Number 8, great way to make sure you have enough information here is, I'll read it to you. Taxpayer is filing the protective claim for a refund / abatement of failure to file penalties, failure to pay penalties, and associated interest assessed for the 2020 tax period. Under the legal reasoning established in Kwong versus United States, the standard filing and payment deadlines were postponed during COVID-19 federal disaster period from January 2020 to May 11, 2023, plus an additional 60 days. Consequently, the taxpayers' return and payment were timely filed under the postponed disaster relief deadlines, making the assessment of these penalties and interest improper, illegal. And all you got to do is sign it, date it, and if it's a paid preparer, put your name as there, put your firm there, have the paid preparer sign it, date it, put the EIN, your PTIN, and that's if the firm is doing it for you, or if you're paying someone, that's what they do. And that is really it. All right? So what are you waiting for? Go ahead, fill it out. It's just going to cost you a little bit of time and a little bit of certified receipt mail postage. Get it out in the mail before July 10, 2026, and have a great time doing it. Of course, if you're unsure and the numbers are high, hire a CPA. Be careful. Be careful. There's a lot of promoters out there right now trying to get 25% contingency fees, and you have to be careful that they're real. Don't pay anything in advance to anybody, but I really think it's a little bit of a squeeze for these promoters to try to charge 25% contingency fee when I just showed you how to do it for free. So maybe a 10% is more normal, because remember, like, I'm a CPA, I do this for clients. I'm thinking I'm going to charge an upfront fee, $500 per year. And then if I need to fight it afterwards, which probably is going to happen, you're going to get a notice from the IRS saying we denied it, or you're going to want to take it to the appeals. You might want to do a little extra work. So after that happens, if I have to spend more time on it, then I'll probably do a contingency fee on that, because now it's like I have no idea how much time it's going to take me. So yes, I probably will charge extra, but just I want to get the forms out, just a protective claims situation, and it shouldn't take me more than half hour to an hour per year. So I'll charge $500 for that. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of back and forth, and I believe at my rate at $250, $350 an hour, it's worth the client's time to pay me for that. So obviously, if you want me to do it, that's what I'm charging, $500 per year. As long as you give me all the information, you log into your transcripts, you get the transcripts, I review it, or you can review it. You send it to me afterwards. You have interest and penalties. Boom, you're eligible. And that's it. I would also pull 2019 year just in case, because if you pay the tax in that time period in 2020, even though it's a 2019 tax return, you can also get 2019 back. So 2019 to 2023 is the years that you pull those transcripts. If you have any questions in the comments, follow me for more value. Have a great day.